What if everything you've been waiting for is already waiting for you, and the only thing left to do is speak it into form? What if one phrase, spoken with belief and rhythm, could shift your entire reality? We're not talking about empty words. We're talking about spiritual declarations, truth codes that open doors no man can shut. Every hour, your mind is drifting, absorbing fear, lack, confusion from the world. And yet, you have the power to reclaim your atmosphere by simply saying, "Everything I desire is already mine. I walk in divine success, favor, and peace now." Words are not mere sounds or marks on a page, they are living energies, charged with the power to build, bless, or break. What you speak isn't just heard, it is felt by the unseen forces that respond to your vibration. Have you ever said something and felt it echo in your chest, as if the universe paused for a moment to listen? That's because it did. When you speak, you're not just communicating, you're commanding. Every word carries a frequency, and that frequency either aligns you with divine flow or pulls you further into chaos. It's not random, it's not poetry, it's law. Your words are tools, not toys. You're shaping your world sentence by sentence. And the most astonishing part, most people are doing it unconsciously. They wake up and say, "I'm so tired," or "money never stays with me," and then wonder why their life looks exactly like that. Why wouldn't it? They're prophesying defeat every single morning. What if we told you the most powerful tool you'll ever hold isn't in your hands, it's in your mouth? Every ancient teaching, every spiritual breakthrough, every successful soul who has mastered reality, all understood this one secret. You become what you repeatedly declare. That means your words are not just descriptions, they are blueprints. They go ahead of you, preparing the terrain. If you're speaking sickness, limitation, or fear, don't be shocked when that's all that grows around you, but reverse it just once and see what happens. Say, "I am radiant with life." Say, "Divine supply flows to me now." Say, "I am chosen, I am ready, I am aligned," and watch how even your physical body responds. Have you noticed that? One empowering phrase can lift your chest, soften your breath, and electrify your mind. That's not imagination, that's activation. And here's the divine mystery most people miss. Your words don't just influence your mood, they create structure in the unseen realm. Every declaration becomes a spiritual scaffolding around your future. Say it often enough with belief and consistency, and you'll begin walking into rooms you used to only dream about. But here's the test. You must speak it when it feels furthest from the truth. Anyone can say, "I'm blessed," when their bank account is full. But can you say it when the rent is late and the fear is real? That's where power lives. That's where faith begins. That's where creation starts. Your word is your wand. Use it wrongly, and you'll live in a fog of confusion and contradiction. Use it rightly, and everything starts bending in your favor. Think about it. Have you ever said something negative and then felt your whole day spiral downward? That wasn't coincidence, it was confirmation. Now imagine the reverse, waking up and boldly declaring, "This is the day my breakthrough arrives," and then watching little signs begin to show up. A kind word, an unexpected call, a moment of clarity. That's not magic, that's alignment. You're not at the mercy of fate, you're at the mercy of your own vocabulary. Change your language, and you change your life. Shift your speech from fear to faith, and the entire rhythm of your world transforms. And let's be clear, this is not about lying to yourself. It's about speaking to the higher truth, the one the world can't see yet, the one that exists within you, waiting to be released by a word, not someday. Not when things settle down, but now. What are you creating with your words today? Look around. Your relationships, your finances, your self-image, they are all reflecting something you've been saying consistently. So if you don't like the picture, change the script. Begin to treat every word as sacred, as spiritual, as a seed. Plant with intention, speak with conviction, and never underestimate the force behind a phrase. Because once you realize that your mouth is the pen writing your reality, you'll never speak carelessly again. Your words are tools, your voice is power, and your reality is listening every single hour. The subconscious doesn't respond to logic, it responds to repetition. Not once, not twice, but over and over again until the idea you plant becomes its dominant reality. You can't just affirm a truth and walk away from it. You've got to drive it deep layer by layer until it becomes unshakable. And the most effective way to do that, hourly repetition. Yes, hourly, because your subconscious is not a silent observer. It's a sponge. It's absorbing everything you say, everything you think, everything you dwell on. If you don't program it on purpose, it gets programmed by default, by fear, by lack, by old stories you didn't even choose. How many times a day do you let your mind wander into worry without even realizing it? How many times do you rehearse worst-case scenarios, negative assumptions, quiet doubts that slip in uninvited? And then we wonder why life feels heavy, or stuck, or out of sync. Hourly repetition isn't just a cute habit, it's a spiritual intervention. It resets your vibration before the world tries to rewire it again. Every hour, you get a chance to anchor your truth, to remind your subconscious who you really are, and to take back control of the energetic momentum that builds as the day goes on. Repetition is the mother of mastery, but it's also the mother of manifestation. What you repeat becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes what you live. So you must ask yourself, what am I rehearsing? What am I programming into the very engine of my reality? You may say, but I already said my affirmation this morning. That's beautiful, but what about the other 23 hours? Do you think fear only works one shift a day? No, fear is relentless. It shows up in headlines, text messages, bank balances, social media posts, and subconscious triggers. If fear is speaking 50 times a day, and your faith is only speaking once, guess who's running the show? So you match the rhythm, you match the frequency, you rise up and say every single hour, no, I declare truth, I declare power, I declare divine alignment now. You don't do it just to manifest faster. You do it to stay awake in a world trying to put you back to sleep. You do it so your nervous system learns safety in abundance. You do it so your inner child hears the opposite of what the world once screamed at her. You do it because you are recoding your reality at the cellular level. And you don't have to scream it. You can whisper it. You can breathe it. You can write it. You can speak it while washing your hands, driving your car, walking through a hallway. The power is not in the volume, it's in the consistency. Why do you think spiritual leaders and ancient wisdom traditions have always emphasized mantras, chants, or sacred phrases? Because repetition bypasses resistance. The first time you say it, your mind may resist. The third time it might argue. But by the 30th time, something shifts, a wall breaks, a new door opens, and that's where miracles begin. Say it even if you don't believe it yet. Yes, especially then, because it's not about faking it. It's about training your inner world to remember what your spirit already knows. You are not small, you are not stuck, you are not behind. But if you don't remind yourself of that truth every hour, the world will surely try to convince you otherwise. And this isn't obsession, it's alignment. This isn't desperation, it's discipline. Athletes train their body every day. Champions rehearse their mindset every hour. Spiritual warriors, we declare truth at every turn because we understand. Our future depends on the narrative we repeat now. Every time you declare, I am guided, I am supported, I am successful, I am safe. You carve a new groove into your subconscious. You pave a new path in the field of possibility. You push back against the static of doubt, and you call in clarity, peace, and divine provision. And the more often you say it, the faster your reality bends. So, don't just affirm once and hope it sticks. Speak it hourly. Let the rhythm rewire you. Let the words wash over your mind like a sacred tide, because the life you're building, it's being shaped one repetition at a time. Words alone are not enough. Anyone can repeat an affirmation. Anyone can say, I am abundant, or I am healed. But without faith, real, bold, immovable faith, those words are just noise. The true force that cracks resistance is not the phrase itself, but the power and belief behind it. Faith is the flame that ignites your words and sends them blazing through every wall of delay, fear, and limitation. Have you ever said something with all your heart and felt it shake something inside you? That wasn't just emotion, that was energy meeting resistance and breaking through it. Resistance lives in your subconscious. It hides in your old programming, in childhood wounds, in ancestral fear patterns passed down silently from generation to generation. Resistance is not always loud. Sometimes it's subtle, a quiet voice that says, "Be realistic. Don't get your hopes up," or "This is too good to be true." It wraps around your potential like a fog. And unless you speak with faith-fueled fire, it stays. Faith isn't pretending everything is perfect. It's declaring something greater than what you see, even when your current reality tries to argue with you. It's the spiritual muscle that refuses to bow to circumstances. And when you speak from that place, even softly, the universe moves. Why do some people affirm for months and see no change, while others declare a truth once and watch doors fly open? It's not luck, it's not volume, it's faith. Words become supernatural weapons when your heart is anchored in truth. Faith gives your words weight. It sends them into the unseen realm like arrows of light. And resistance, it cannot stand under the pressure of a word drenched in certainty. The mind may waver, emotions may shift, but faith, real faith, not hype, not hope, but holy, rooted, divine knowing, that's what collapses the blocks you've carried for years. You may not see the wall breaking at first, but say the truth anyway. Speak it again and again, not with panic, not with anxiety, but with spiritual authority. Say, "I am provided for completely." Say, "My path is clear and divinely guided." Say, "Every closed door is making room for the right one to open." And don't just say it to feel good, say it to shift atmospheres. Say it to tell resistance, "You have no place here anymore." Faith-filled words are not fragile. They are fierce. They do not beg, they command. And what's beautiful is that you don't need to feel powerful to speak powerfully. Even in your weakest moment, when the fear is loud and the doubt is heavy, if you can speak one word in faith, something starts to shift. The law responds not to desperation, but to dominion. Faith is dominion. When you speak with faith, you are not asking the universe for favors, you are activating the divine law that was waiting for your agreement all along. Your resistance has a voice, so your faith must be louder, not in volume but in vibration. A whisper spoken in faith can shatter strongholds that years of trying couldn't touch. And that's why affirmations must come from alignment, not obligation. You don't just say things to check a box. You speak them to rewrite the script of your soul. You say them until your body believes, until your cells remember, until the energy around you bends to your conviction. Faith-fueled words aren't magic spells, they are spiritual declarations of authority. You're not hoping the mountain moves, you're commanding it to move because you know who walks with you. Speak from that place, the place where fear cannot live. Speak with the energy of someone who knows the end is already written. Speak as if the answer is not on the way, but already here, because in the spirit it is. And when resistance shows up, because it will, don't shrink. Stand taller, speak louder, declare, "I do not fear resistance, I command it to release me now." This is how battles are won in the unseen, not by pushing, not by begging, but by speaking truth with faith, and watching everything that once held you back begin to crumble under the weight of your words. The law doesn't take breaks. It doesn't pause to ask if you're ready enough. It doesn't hesitate to check if you meant what you said. It responds immediately, and not to what you wish but to what you believe. Every word you speak, every thought you entertain, every emotional vibration you carry, it registers. It begins forming reality right now. This is not superstition. This is not theory. This is law. Spiritual law is not delayed by human time. It doesn't wait for your calendar to open up. It doesn't check your past for permission. It only checks one thing: what's active in your energy right now. Say, I am wealthy, with full conviction, and the law begins moving the invisible pieces into place. Say, nothing ever works out for me, even sarcastically, and that too becomes a seed, already taking root. There's no off switch, no neutral zone. Your reality is under construction every second, powered by your focus and emotion. Have you ever noticed how quickly fear creates spirals? One anxious thought, and suddenly your whole body feels different. One sentence of doubt and your energy drops for the rest of the day. Why does fear move so fast? Because the law doesn't filter between good or bad. It doesn't have emotional bias. It simply reacts to charge. But here's the beauty. If fear can work fast, so can faith. If anxiety can spiral, then so can alignment. If one thought can throw you off course, then one declaration can snap you right back into power. You are never stuck because the law is always listening, always responding, always shaping your path to match your internal broadcast. What are you broadcasting right now? Are you sending out panic, lack, hesitation, and hoping for abundance to arrive anyway? It doesn't work like that. The law doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are in energetic agreement with. You may say, but I've been speaking truth for weeks and nothing has happened. Oh, but it has. The moment you aligned with truth, movement began. Just because it hasn't shown up in the physical yet doesn't mean it's not working. The spiritual world responds instantly, but manifestation has layers. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust the process. You water it. You protect it. You affirm that it's unfolding in perfect timing. So many people quit just before the harvest, not because the law failed, but because they stopped believing it was still working. But it is. It always is. What if the delay isn't in the response, but in your readiness to receive it? Sometimes the law moves fast, and you're not emotionally available for the blessing yet. So life begins shaping you to match the thing you asked for, the relationship, the opportunity, the abundance. It's already yours, but you must become the version of you who can hold it with grace. And still the law is responding, even in silence, even in waiting. Even when nothing seems to be happening, everything is happening. You don't need to push, you don't need to force. You only need to get in alignment and speak from that place again and again. Say it like it's already done. Say it like the room has already shifted in your favor. Say it like the call has already come, and then let the Lord do its part. You are not begging the universe. You are not asking for favors. You are declaring alignment with a force that is already coded to support your expansion. This is why casual affirmations don't always work. It's not about sounding spiritual. It's about feeling the frequency in your bones when you say it. Do you feel abundant when you declare wealth? Do you feel favored when you say, everything works in my favor? Do you feel safe when you say, I am divinely protected and guided? Because the law isn't moved by words, it's moved by embodied energy. And that's why timing doesn't matter, because the moment your frequency changes, your future changes. Instantly, no negotiation, no delays, no debates. You shift and everything shifts with you. So stop wondering if it's working. Know that it is. Stop waiting for evidence before you believe, and the evidence will appear. This is divine law. It's already in motion, right now. Look around you right now. Your life, the home you live in, the relationships you hold, the money in your account, the way you feel in your body, all of it is a living reflection of what you've been saying, believing, and agreeing with over time. This isn't punishment. It's not random. It's not unfair. It's simply spiritual law in motion. Your current reality is not your destiny, it's your echo. It's the echo of the words you spoke when you were scared. The words you said when you didn't think anyone, not even God, was listening. The words you muttered when you thought you'd never get ahead. When you claimed, I'm always stuck, or whispered, it's just too late for me. And the law responded not with emotion, but with precision. It began shaping your outer world to mirror your inner declarations. Not instantly, but inevitably, because words are seeds, and seeds take time. What you're experiencing now is the harvest of things you may have said in frustration, in fear, in pain days, months, sometimes years ago. But once the seed is in the ground, the soil of the subconscious takes over. And unless it's uprooted and replaced, it will grow. That's why it's so important not to judge your current life as a sign of who you are or what you're capable of. It's not the final say. It's just the visible form of invisible patterns, and patterns can be rewritten. What happens if you stop and ask, whose voice created this reality I'm living in? Was it even mine? Was it a parent's voice that said, "You'll never be successful"? Was it a teacher's remark that said, "You're not that smart"? Was it a partner who said, "You're too much" or "not enough"? Did you take their words and build your whole reality around them? It's time to tear those old blueprints down. Because if words created the world you have now, then new words can create the world you want next. Every time you say, "I can't afford that," or "that's not possible for someone like me," you're stamping that belief into the universe, and the law obeys. But speak differently, even awkwardly at first, and watch how fast the shift begins. Say, "I always attract divine opportunities. Money flows to me with ease. I am becoming the version of me that my future already requires." And yes, the old patterns may fight back. Your outer world may try to argue, "That's not true yet." But guess what? It doesn't have to be true yet, it just has to be spoken. Because the moment you say it, the energy begins moving, the blueprint is drafted. The construction begins. Your job is to keep speaking life, even while living in the residue of old thoughts. To speak wealth, even while facing debt. To speak healing, even while the diagnosis is still fresh. To speak favor even when rejection still stings. This isn't about delusion, this is about dominion. And yes, it takes courage. It takes maturity to admit, "I helped create this," not with guilt, not with shame, but with empowerment. Because if I created this, I can create something better, something higher, something more aligned with who I truly am. It all starts with a word. Say it out loud. I am choosing new language now. Speak it like you mean it, even if your voice shakes. Because the moment you begin using words that match your divine potential, not your old pain, the future starts shifting to meet you. What if every situation in your life is simply responding to what you've believed to be true about yourself? What if every closed door, every financial struggle, every delay was just proof of past agreements you no longer have to renew? You can revoke old beliefs today. You can break old word curses that you didn't even realize were shaping your path. Because once you wake up to the truth that your current life is just the visible form of invisible declarations, you stop fighting the symptoms and start changing the source. Your reality is made of words. And if you want to live in a new world, speak a new one into existence. Not all words are equal. Not all affirmations carry power. You can repeat empty sentences for months and see nothing shift. But then one phrase, one line, spoken with alignment, spoken at the right time, spoken with conviction from the depth of your soul, can open floodgates in your life you never knew were blocked. There are words that carry heat, words that carry vibration, words that unlock energy that's been frozen for years. Why does that happen? Because there are phrases of power keys in word form that resonate not just with your conscious mind, but with your divine blueprint. You don't just say them, you remember them. You feel something ancient and sacred rise inside you, and in that moment, your words stop being just positive thinking. They become a spiritual activation. You know the moment when your body reacts, goosebumps, breath catches, tears press at the edge of your eyes. That's when the phrase hits the root. That's when divine flow begins. What is divine flow? It's the invisible intelligence that arranges miracles. It's the sacred current that leads you to the right people, the right place, the right opportunity at the right time. But divine flow doesn't come when you beg. It doesn't come when you panic. It comes when you speak from your higher self with no resistance, no doubt, just pure inner knowing. A phrase like, "All that is mine by divine right is now released and reaches me in perfect timing." Say that with faith and something begins to move. Not just in the universe, but in you. Because these phrases are not just poetic lines, they are codes. When spoken, they send a ripple through the spiritual realm. They announce your alignment. They clear energetic clutter. They signal the law, she's ready now. Most people talk all day, but rarely speak anything that opens flow. They talk about their problems. They talk about who wronged them. They repeat tired phrases like nothing ever works out, or that's just my luck. And guess what the law does? It obeys, it mirrors back the energy of those words. But when you find the right phrase, the one that feels electric in your chest, and you say it hourly, daily, faithfully, your atmosphere shifts. Not just mentally, spiritually, financially, relationally. That's how powerful it is. Why do you think ancient wisdom traditions have always used sacred phrases, mantras, affirmations, and declarations? Because the soul doesn't just understand logic. It understands vibration. And when you speak the phrase that matches your purpose, the entire universe feels the alignment and begins orchestrating what once seemed impossible. Have you noticed how when you're aligned with truth, things show up effortlessly? The phone call comes, the idea lands, the money appears. Divine flow doesn't make you hustle harder, it removes resistance from the path. But it always begins with a spoken signal. A divine phrase is not about magic, it's about remembrance. It reconnects you with your power. It centers you back in spiritual law. It wipes out confusion and fear not by force, but by truth. Say, I now receive without resistance. I am one with divine order. Everything I need comes to me now. Say it slowly. Feel the rhythm of it. Don't rush. Let it melt into your nervous system. Let your subconscious hear it so clearly that it stops replaying old loops of fear. Divine flow doesn't respond to pressure. It responds to peaceful authority, the kind of voice that says, "It is already done," and means it. Your phrase doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be poetic. It just has to be alive. It has to carry meaning that your soul recognizes. For one person, it might be, "I walk in favor." For another, "I release all that is not mine and return to ease." For you, it might be something entirely unique, something spirit whispers to you in stillness. And when it comes, write it down, use it. Speak it daily. Speak it hourly. Speak it until your outer world bows to your inner certainty. Don't underestimate the power of a single line spoken with full alignment. It can rearrange your energy. It can move you out of confusion and into clarity. It can turn drought into overflow. The right phrase, not forced, not recited mindlessly, but breathed from the heart, is more than words. It's a command to the universe. It's a declaration of readiness. And when spoken with faith, it doesn't just go out into the world. It opens the way. Don't just say it once. Don't just whisper it in the morning and forget it by noon. Say it until the world bends to match it. Speak your truth until your surroundings have no choice but to realign. Reality is not fixed. It is fluid. It listens to your frequency. It reflects your rhythm. And your rhythm is made of what you repeat with conviction. You must become so faithful to the truth you've chosen that even when nothing around you seems to agree, you still speak it. Speak it in the silence. Speak it when the bills are due. Speak it when your heart is heavy. Speak it when the door slams in your face. Speak it when the delay feels like denial. Speak it until it becomes the only language your body, mind, and soul understand. The world may not change overnight, but you will. And once you change, the world will have no choice but to catch up. Because reality is not the cause, it is the mirror. It doesn't lead, it follows. What you declare consistently begins to imprint itself onto the quantum field. Each word becomes a magnetic thread, pulling people, moments, and divine arrangements toward you. Most people give up too soon. They speak truth once, twice, maybe for a week, but when nothing happens, they call it nonsense. It didn't work. But did you work it? Did you say it with belief? Did you say it until you became the energy of it? This is not repetition for the sake of repetition. This is repetition for the sake of identity. You say it until it's not just something you're hoping for, it's something you are. Say, I am worthy of abundance. Say it until your spine straightens, your eyes lift, your decisions shift. Say, everything I desire is already on its way to me. Say it until the doubt melts, and you start expecting good news every time your phone rings. Say, I walk in favor. Say it until even strangers start treating you with divine respect. The world cannot ignore someone who is aligned with their truth. It cannot resist someone who has decided that their word is law. That kind of energy reshapes rooms. It opens doors. It rearranges outcomes. But it starts with consistency, not perfection consistency. You may have days where the doubt creeps in. That's okay. Speak anyway. You may feel ridiculous saying, I'm successful, when you've just lost everything. Say it anyway, yes, because what's more powerful, your fear or your word? When the world hasn't caught up to your declaration, that's not proof it isn't working, that's proof you're in the middle of the shift. You are not speaking to convince the world, you are speaking to command it. There is a difference. When you say something once, you're expressing a hope. When you say it daily, you're building momentum. But when you say it until it becomes a frequency, you are now transmitting a signal the universe must respond to. Think of your affirmation like a tuning fork. With each repetition, your energy begins to hum at a higher level. And when your frequency rises, your experience must adjust. It is spiritual law. The phrase fake it till you make it misses the point. You're not faking anything. You're faithing it until you embody it. Until your surroundings bow to what you've already spoken over yourself. Until people look at your life and ask, how did you get here? And you smile because you know, I spoke it before I saw it. And sometimes you'll say it long before anyone believes you. That's okay. Their disbelief has no power over your truth. The world always doubts what's unfamiliar until it becomes undeniable. And when your external finally reflects your internal, you'll know it wasn't luck. It was law. You spoke it. You stayed with it. You believed it before it made sense. You didn't need evidence to trust. You didn't need applause to keep going. You became what you were saying, and that made you unstoppable. Say it until the world reflects it. Not once, not twice, but until. Because the one who keeps speaking keeps aligning, and the one who keeps aligning always arrives.